Dodge killed the Viper in 2017. They said the market had moved on. That raw, uncompromising sports cars had no place in a world full of driver assists and comfort features. For 8 years, that seemed to be true. Before we get into this, if you follow American performance cars closely, this channel is exactly where you want to be. Subscribe now so you don't miss what's coming for 2026. But here we are in 2026, and the Viper is back. The question is this the same beast that terrified drivers for 2 decades? Or is Dodge offering us something new wearing a familiar skin? Because from what I've been looking at, this might not be the return everyone was expecting. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. The original Viper wasn't a car you drove. It was a car you survived. No traction control for years, a tire-melting V10, and a reputation that kept nervous buyers at arm's length. It was respected, feared, and ultimately left behind. What Dodge is attempting in 2026 is something genuinely interesting. They're trying to recapture that identity while making it accessible enough to actually sell. That tension between wild and approachable is what makes this car worth paying attention to right now. And this is where things get interesting, because the changes they've made say a lot about where American performance is heading in the next decade. Visually, the 2026 Viper is unmistakable. The long hood, low slung stance, and side exhausts are all still there. The DNA is intact. But look closer, and you'll notice the lines are slightly more refined than the outgoing generation. Less aggressive in the details, more cohesive as a whole. The front fascia has been updated with sharper intakes and new LED lighting that gives it a more contemporary face without erasing what made the original Viper look like it meant business. For most buyers, this exterior is going to land exactly right. It's still a statement car, just one that seems a little more considered than before. But the bigger story is inside, and in what's under that hood. This is where the 2026 Viper tells you the most about who Dodge is building it for now. The original cabin was famously Spartan, functional, borderline uncomfortable on longer drives, and totally unapologetic about it. The 2026 version is a different experience. The seats are genuinely supportive, with more lateral bolstering than you'd expect, and materials that feel premium without trying too hard. The cabin noise at highway speeds has been noticeably reduced. Not sports car silent, but no longer the ear-fatiguing drone that previous owners complained about on road trips. The center console is cleaner, the infotainment screen is properly integrated rather than bolted on as an afterthought, and there's actual storage. Not a lot, this is still a sports car, but enough that you can bring a bag on a weekend run without planning around it. What really matters here is that the refinement doesn't feel like a compromise. It feels like Dodge finally asked, what if we made this car great to be in, not just great to drive? The V10 is back. That's the headline. An 8.4-liter, naturally aspirated engine producing figures in the 650 horsepower range, depending on the trim you're looking at. In real-world driving, that means effortless acceleration from almost any speed, the kind of power delivery that doesn't need to be provoked. It's just always there. But here's the detail that changes things. The 2026 car ships with a more sophisticated traction management system as standard. You can still turn it off completely. This is still a Viper, but the system is genuinely good enough that most drivers will leave it active most of the time. It doesn't dull the experience. It makes the experience available to a wider range of skill levels, which is exactly what Dodge needs if this car is going to survive long term. The 6-speed manual remains. There is no automatic option, and that decision alone tells you Dodge understands what their audience wants. If you're still deciding whether the Viper fits your life, or just your wish list, This next section is worth staying for. And if you appreciate honest, unhyped coverage of cars like this, subscribing takes 2 seconds and means you'll see every update we put out on 2026 performance cars. Now let's talk about something buyers don't always think about up front: what it actually costs to own one of these. Fuel economy on a car like this is never going to be the selling point. You're looking at figures in the low teens in city driving, possibly mid-teens on the highway if you're disciplined. That's the price of a V10, and most buyers in this segment already know that going in. What matters more for long-term ownership is reliability and parts availability. The previous Viper generation had a complicated history on that front. Not terrible, but ownership communities had consistent feedback about certain components needing attention. Dodge has acknowledged this and made updates to the cooling system and electrical architecture for 2026. It's early, but the early indications from pre-production testing suggest these changes are meaningful. Resale is worth mentioning. Low-production American sports cars with manual transmissions tend to hold value well, sometimes exceptionally well, especially when they're tied to a nameplate with the kind of cultural weight the Viper carries. That's something buyers should think about when they compare the sticker price against European alternatives. This may not sound exciting, but maintenance costs are actually in a reasonable range for the segment. The engine, for all its drama, is not complex in the way turbocharged or hybrid powertrains can be. If you're seriously cross-shopping the 2026 Viper, the obvious competitors are the Corvette Z06, the Porsche 911 GT3, and possibly the Ferrari Roma if you're stretching the budget upward. The Corvette is arguably the more complete car, more refined, better everyday usability, strong track credentials. If you want the most balanced package in this range, the Corvette is the rational answer. But the Viper isn't trying to be the rational answer. It's trying to be the one you remember. The Porsche offers more precision and a more predictable ownership experience, but at a significant price premium and without the character that makes the Viper conversation worthy. If you're still comparing a few sports cars, this next detail might help clarify your decision. The Viper is the only car in this group that feels genuinely American in the way that word used to mean something in performance cars. That's not for everyone. But for the right buyer, nothing else comes close to that feeling. The 2026 Dodge Viper isn't the unhinged white-knuckle machine that defined the nameplate in the 1990s. It's something more interesting, a car that's been thoughtfully updated without losing the soul that made it legendary in the first place. More livable, more refined, and still genuinely terrifying when you want it to be. It's best suited for drivers who want something with real character, real heritage, and a powertrain philosophy that's increasingly rare in a world moving toward electric performance. If that description sounds like you, the 2026 Viper deserves a serious look before you sign anything else. Which feature matters most to you in a car like this? The V10, the manual gearbox, or the fact that it still says Viper on the side? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this breakdown useful, subscribe. We cover 2026 model updates like this regularly, with no hype, no filler. Just the details that matter when you're making a real decision. Hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next one.